Reading the stories of the women involved in the Bill Crosby case, I think it's important to say to people at home that women blame themselves for whatever happens to them, and also men too, because this isn't just something, sexual assault isn't something that only happens to women. But I mean, I think it might surprise people to know that even me, mouthy Janet Street Porter, who always looks like, 6 foot tall, like Penny, stand up for ourselves in a difficult situation. But when I was starting my career in journalism way back, I had something happen to me that at the time I've kind of set it in the back of my mind like a really bad dream. I was working on a London evening newspaper. I arranged to meet some friends with my husband for dinner, and then I got a phone call from one of the people that I was going to meet, who was a very high-profile journalist. He was really well known on a national newspaper. And he said, instead of meeting at the restaurant, we're going to meet at my flat for drinks. So I thought nothing of it. I went to his flat, and he buzzed me up. I went in, and there was no one else there, and he had locked the door behind me. And I went into the living room, and I think I was about 22, 23 years old. This man literally threw himself on me, and without any warning, and he really went for me, and he could not understand that I would not have sex with him, and whatever I said, it was just not getting through. But as it happens like in slow motion. It's almost like you freeze, all your reactions are delayed because you can't believe you didn't see it coming. And my reaction was that I managed to get him off me and get out of the room, and then run down the corridor, and it was a mansion block flat, and the corridor eventually came back to the front door. It was locked, but I managed to get it unlocked, and I got out and ran down the stairs, and I stood in the street outside, and I was absolutely shaking. And then I was thinking, what did I do or say to bring that? That's what women do, isn't it? We do say, what did I do? Well, I did nothing. But I phoned my husband and said, I'm feeling really ill. Can you just say we're not going to dinner? And he telephoned the other people, and we didn't go to the restaurant.
Did you report it? You were the guilty person?
Absolutely felt guilty myself. And I went home and I said to him, I'm feeling really rubbish. Can we just have a night in? And I didn't tell him. And then years...
How long did you not tell anyone for?
Oh, years, probably 8 or 9 years. And back then, I was a fashion writer and a newspaper columnist, but I was on the radio and I was confident.
Yeah. But what I'm stressing is that if it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, and it happened another time too to me later on in my career, where somebody I was involved in business with, I sat next to at dinner, and he made a proposition to me that was about sex and our relationship, and I just sat there and I just thought, my husband is sitting next to me, and this man has just said it in my ear, that he would give me preferable treatment if I would have sex with him. And again, I pretended to go to the toilet and just left.
I remember when I have to pick my way around this carefully because I don't want to identify the person, but I was a teen and I was working in this place, and this person who was very influential and very, very, very interesting and very fun. I mean, I was not attracted to him in the slightest. And you know, when you're young, when you're not attracted to somebody, you don't think for a minute they would. I was so naive. And he used to really listen to me, and I thought, oh, wow, I'm really interesting and I'm funny, and he's this powerful guy. I didn't want or need anything from him, but I just loved that he thought that I was a pretty cool person. And he took ages and ages before he pounced. Ages. We would go, and I'd get quite excited about, oh, I wonder if he's at work today because we'll have another chat, and I've got this funny story to tell him. No, never at any point was I falling in love or infatuated or anything. I truly was an idiot. I thought he was my friend. Well, I wasn't an idiot. I was naive. I was innocent. So eventually he invited me to his flat, and we'd been for a dinner. Oh, do you want to come back? Oh, I can play you this record now. Oh, yeah, OK. Honestly, so naive. Anyway, he just pounced on me. I don't want to say exactly what happened, but he pounced on me. And I remember when he pounced on me, because when I'd walked into his flat, there was all these photos of his wife. He had lots of houses. There was all these photos of his wives and his children. And I saw this photo of his wives and his children, and I was so horrified and petrified, but I was also utterly disgusted in that moment with myself. In an instant, I thought, this is my fault.
What did I do wrong?
This is
How
my
did I
fault.
lead
And when
him
I
on?
look back on it, none of it was my fault. I was just an innocent girl that thought that this guy thought I was pretty cool, and I thought that that was cool. And you know, when you think of how many women and how many men this kind of thing happens to, and it's never recorded. It's petrifying.
Because
I haven't spoken to many women in my life that haven't had
have
something happen to
reported
them.
what happened to you.
No.
I didn't tell my mum and dad.
Yeah.
I didn't tell any of my family for years because I was ashamed. I thought that I'd done something wrong.